What's up, chosen family? What's up with the squad, man? We back. It's part two of a higher vibrational being. You know, I don't want to say human being, y'all, because you're not human. If you were human, y'all, you would only be flesh and bones, because that's what they tell us humans are. Somebody that's a physical being that has no powers. You know, and someone that has limitations. That's what a human being is, y'all. I'm not calling nobody humans. Yes, there are humans that exist in this world, but you can be looked as a god, and a god is nothing but a generator, a operator, and a destroyer. That's literally what a god means, y'all. Because you create your reality, y'all. Everything falls on you, whether you like this or not. So you put your faith in false idols or motherfuckers that you believe in. Well, that's probably why your life is hell, because you're expecting people to save you. When even Jesus said you must save yourself, you know, you got to be the one to do everything that you want to do, because nothing ever comes easy, and nothing ever is gonna come your way with hands held given to you, because you got two legs, you got two arms, and you got a mind to think on your own. So why would it be handed to you? That's when vibration plays hand in hand with this shit, because now that you know that, okay, let me just calm down, let me stop looking, let me start becoming, let me improve my being physically and spiritually, and let me evolve. That's when everything naturally comes your way, because you no longer give a fuck about it, y'all. You know, when you don't care about something, that's when everything wants to come your way, because that's the energy you're giving off. Not neediness, but straightforwardness. You know, creativity at its finest is whenever things start opening up to you, when you're not worried about nothing, y'all. You know? So, let's just say, you know, the nobody knows the battle I go through with giving all these messages, y'all. But then again, I'm happy there's a battle with this. You know, this is not for example, but for a raw truth like myself. Let me give you a little detail of my story. So when I started making content, y'all, years ago, you know, I started making content right after I got out of high school, because I already knew that shit was bullshit, you know. It's something that nobody wants to do, y'all. You know, you don't know why we go, but deep down inside, your soul doesn't like doing that shit, y'all. Because you always had that, let's just say you always had that thought of revoking, or you always had that voice within you that was like, nah, fuck that, fuck school. That's probably why you miss so much, right? Because that's your soul questioning your surroundings, y'all. But your ego doesn't really know about it like that, because you're not focused on it deeply, you know. But we all, you know, thought like that in a way. That's why most motherfuckers like myself would be in that bitch high every day smoking weed, because it would push that creative side out of us, y'all. You know, instead of us feeling like we're forced to do everything that we don't want to do, it would naturally make us want to do it and learn from it, because, you know, when you're high, y'all, you're tapped into feminine energy that most men lack, because they're not truly masculine at heart, y'all. So you're not naturally gonna feel peaceful and stoic, you know. So you're gonna rely on this weed, and I'm not saying it's bad, because, you know, it gives you knowledge and a frequency that nothing else around you can give you. That's why most people love. That's why they love smoking it, because it increases their vibration and makes them feel like they are not, you know, distracted any longer, because they start doing things they want to do with creativity. That creativity you're getting in the moment is from that plant you are fusing your spirit with. Everything has spirit. That's why it has the ability to grow back and still be divine, as we call it, with life. You know, just like yourself, y'all. You know? But school, y'all. You know, I started teaching this shit after I got out of high school. Not because I wanted to teach it, but because it felt forcefully right to do, in a way to where I just got tired of living the normal life like everybody else, y'all. You know, we are living in hell. So if you believe that you're going to hell one day, look where the fuck you're at, man. You know, you're not free. You can't do what you want to do. And I'm telling this to everybody who feels like they have nothing. You know, yes, you do have something. You have a soul, and you have the ability to work on it. So eventually that light that your soul has with your spirit can eventually show itself, and that's when everything starts becoming like a magnet to you. Everything wants you. Women want you. Kids want to be around you. You know, these fake ass celebrities want a piece of your spark as well. But fuck all of them, because they weren't with you when you were a crop forming. You know, when you were in your decaying stages, y'all, everybody had left you aside or treated you like someone that was invisible. But now that you are shining, not because you said it, but because it shows, everybody wants to come around and bow down to you. That's what they are doing now, because they realize the kings and the queens are here. The true primordials are here that have risen, which are me and myself and the chosen ones. You know? So I just want to say, man, use this knowledge to the best of your abilities, because not everybody has it, and not everybody's gonna agree with you because they don't feel like you, y'all. You know, they don't take care of their seed. They don't care about their glow. You know, all they give a fuck about is lust, sin, and destroying. But yet they say they love God. You know, the only thing they do is follow the devil, because you can't choose both. You know. So, you know, when I started teaching this message, y'all, I started out on TikTok, but I enjoyed doing it because it gave me a feeling that nothing else could give me. Not knowing that I'm trying to be a hero, but because I'm speaking real shit that this world has been uncovering and keeping veiled. You know, the celebrities can't do this, y'all. You know, that's why every time something happens, they end up missing. They get their asses slaughtered, and they're unheard of, or they clones. You know. But someone like myself, y'all, who has free will and who has divine protection by the Most High, these motherfuckers gotta eat this truth, whether they like it or not. They gotta eat it with a nice bowl and a bunch of utensils with a cup on the side. That's how much they gotta swallow this shit, because there ain't shit they could do to me, y'all. That's how much protectance I have over myself. Not because I'm better than them, but because I speak real shit, y'all. And these vibrations that I'm giving y'all are simply factuals. You know, I have the glow and the maturity of a face to give you this truth, y'all. And I'm not saying this to be confident or to be arrogant. I'm telling you this because if you're a chosen one and you have this truth, I suggest you speak up, man. Speak your mind. Because a lot of people want to say, oh, calm down, protect yourself. You know, they coming for you. You know, they've been coming for all of us our whole fucking lives, y'all. You know, or you're gonna wait for them instead of you becoming something? I hope not, because you're living for imaginary things, y'all. You know, but these are all illusions and programmings that they try to do to get at you, to keep you stuck. You must be the one to break everything. So, you know, as much as I appreciate all the ones that wish me that protecting like energy, y'all, I know what the battle came with, because I was attacked before I made these videos, man. I was always attacked, y'all. You know, if I was attacked before I even gave a fucking, you know, a gem to the gem absorbers, because, you know, it's not about whether you speak truth or not. It's about vibration, y'all. Like I've told y'all in the past, because whether you speak your truth or not, wherever you go with a high vibration, y'all, you will get attacked, because you're forcing everything to rise up, just like yourself, y'all. And if they don't want you, they're gonna get left behind, which means they're gonna decay, they're gonna rot, and they're gonna end up crumbling, because just by you vibrating high, you're naturally increasing the frequency of the plane, the realm, or the globe that you want to call that you live on, because your radiation from the outside of you or from the inside of you is presenting itself on the outside, which is causing the molecules or the enzymes in this air that you can't see to heat up. That's exactly why Sandy couldn't, you know, breathe underwater, or you know, we can call this underwater as well, because up in the sky is water as well. You know, that they don't tell you. That's why we live in a glass bowl. But Sandy couldn't take this kind of oxygen, or let's not say oxygen, let's say radiation or hydrogen. She couldn't take it. That's why she had to have a bowl on, right? It's just like most of these motherfuckers around you, y'all. If they can't take your frequency or your vibration, they go get around you, because they can't breathe in your presence, y'all. That's the whole point of them showing y'all in anime. Whenever your presence is strong, the ones that vibrate low crumble, they shake, because y'all, everything they're telling y'all is simply truth. But you don't believe it in y'all, because you don't have a presence of purity, of strength, and of becoming, y'all. And the only way you will get this, y'all, is semen retention, which is never letting your energy go. I'm not saying never give it away. I mean, I'm not saying that you can't fuck your partner, no. bless her, protect her. But I'm telling you to keep it within you so it can make you dormant, so she can still follow you. You know, you don't want to be no follower, but also because you will eventually love meditation the more you practice this. Because once you have this energy, y'all, meditation, all it does is rise the energy upwards, y'all. Because your energy should never be like this. It should be like this. It should be free, not stagnant, you know. But your vibration is everything, y'all. I'm gonna repeat that again. Your vibration is everything, y'all, because you don't gotta speak no truth, y'all. You don't have to do what I do, y'all. If you don't got the balls to do what it takes to become somebody that's known for being real and showing yourself to the world, because, you know, why wouldn't you want to show yourself to the world, y'all? Because everybody matters, whether you say you do or you don't. You matter because you're here for experience with this questioning. Don't question that. Take advantage on it now. You know, that was my downfall. I would always wait for things instead of doing it myself, y'all. I was independent always, but I would always feel like I needed advice, like if I'm doing the right thing. You know, that was my downfall, because I didn't trust in myself or believe in myself enough to become. And when I dropped that belief, y'all, everything started working in my favor, y'all, because I trusted the Most High and the information He gave me. I used it, and now that I vibrate high, y'all, I'm living proof that this shit happens in my world or my reality. So when I get attacked now, just by giving y'all the videos, y'all, it's nothing. I take it with a fruit on the side, because yes, I can be attacked as many times as I want, but they can't hurt me physically, y'all, for the fact that Satan can't come collect over here, y'all. You know, I don't owe him or his minions nothing, because, you know, I was sent down here by the Most High, y'all, to fulfill one purpose. Take the planet, take the realm back, so everything around you can vibrate in high frequency again, so we won't never have to you know, let's just say, become eradicated or crumble, you know, because nobody should feel like they want to die. You know, nobody wants to die. But yet y'all not doing anything about that to reverse this, you know, belief in what we call death, y'all. You know, your soul is timeless. Your soul never ages, y'all. Your body's the only thing that does. But because it's forced to live in low vibrations, not because it's forced to, but because it has to adapt to it. Because these bodies are not built for low frequencies, y'all. We're only low frequencies because the world is that way, because these motherfuckers had left it that way. But now that we're here, we're bringing the frequency up, whether you like it or not. So that basically means that what I just told y'all is that the sun. All right, let's talk about the sun. The sun, it emits a frequency that many people can't take. That's why they can't be in the sun, because they say it's hot, right? It's only hot because your vibration is on the flesh. You live in the flesh. You eat so many fucking meals a day, and you have no energy that your body can't absorb the sunlight properly. That's why it burns you. Or that's why you get sunburn. Because that energy is simply going in you and decaying you. Not because it's doing that, but because it's trying to show you that the shit you are doing or the routine you are living is not good. You shouldn't be eating too much. You shouldn't be losing your energy. Because that's what gives you the ability to take in sunlight, y'all. That's what gives you the ability to have this aura that becomes purple, blue, or green that people see, or that you'll see on yourself, right? But it gets to a point, like myself, y'all, when you're on this journey, that you stop giving a fuck about how people look at you, because you can't change the fact that they're gonna look at you for how they look at themselves, y'all. No other way around that. This is science, and I know it at heart. So I'm not gonna force nobody to look at them like they look at me, but I'm gonna become somebody that's undeniable to the world, because I care about my plan, my plane of existence, this realm or this planet that I have created. You know, I care about it so much that I gotta change it, because all these fucking zombies and soulless motherfuckers around you, y'all, are not doing nothing but enjoying the facade. They love this matrix. You know, I'm a matrix crumbler, because by just me coming around, y'all, I don't only crumble the matrix, but I crumble egos. You know, that's why they can't look at me, or that's why they avoid me, because I'm walking with this light that the Most High has put in me, y'all, that I'm showing to the world. You know, my light was dim for so long, y'all, until I realized, y'all, I was sent to be called somebody that was meant to shine it. So I'ma shine it, y'all. You know, that's what, you know, and I always told y'all this: when you vibrate high, y'all, you are hot, because you have a sun in you that's vibrating so fast. So it's just like them being out in the sun, y'all. They can't take the sun. They can't take you as well because you have that sun. And because the radiation your body's emitting, y'all, is something that they can't breathe in. Why do you think people can't breathe in the sunlight? Because, y'all, it's too much energy for their body to pull in. Because their body hasn't metamorphosed to a state to where they can absorb it, because they don't give a fuck about their body, y'all. All they care about is that fleshly shit. And all the energy that you have, y'all, is going to the meat that you eat just to break it down. That's how they outsmarted you, man. These motherfucking, let's just call them ETs, or yes, they're extraterrestrials. They think they're smart, but they're not so smart, y'all, because they couldn't, keep my soul or other chosen one's souls down, y'all. I'm an Egyptian reincarnated, just like others are. That's why I'm able to give y'all this fucking truth with no fear but confidence. I was in these ancient times, but that doesn't matter now. But I'm just reminding you how life was, and while we were taller, hotter, and stronger, and nobody could get around you. They don't want to even be around you now, y'all. At your base of who you are physically, they got a rude awakening, man. When your body gets to the vibration that your mind does, and that internal world, because it's only showing in the making, man. That's why I tell y'all, man, stop reacting. Trust God. Live with peace, y'all, and don't react. If the enemy wants to see you mad or argue or react, why the fuck would you give him that power, y'all? When that's all the only thing he could do is try to get that in, because the enemy's goal is to get negative energy out of you, or to get a reaction from you. But if you're not reacting, y'all, he can't do shit. He gonna fall. But this was a video, family. I just gave out some powerful ass shit, y'all. But expect to be somebody that's an outcast with a high vibration. Yes, people are gonna give you this love, but it's not the love that you may expect. It's from an ego state of you. So they love you, yes, but they don't love you with divine love. They don't love you from a soul type of love, because they're not gonna ride for you, y'all. They're not gonna be in your corner when it's just you against these motherfuckers that run everything, y'all. It's only you, but you're all you need, y'all, because the Most High is within you, y'all. That's what I'm saying, man. Y'all either gonna get booted up, or y'all gonna, stay looted, or, because they're taking everything from you, which is your fucking energy, y'all. But this was the video, family, and I love y'all, man. This was the importance of vibration, and why it's important to vibrate high. Because when you do, y'all, nothing gets to you. You become unfazed, yet you become heavenly targeted, because you don't gotta wake nobody up, y'all. You're waking the planet up, and the things around you that are considered living, which are the trees, the grass. You're making the sun shine harder just by you working on the sun within you, y'all. Because it's a speck of the universe in creation, which is everything, y'all. But I see y'all, and I just want to tell y'all this, man. Stay within, so you don't get lost without. I say.